So final set of notes for the chapter. But we are going to be talking about a specific kind of verb today. Okay? And they are called modal verbs. Okay? There's a couple things that are special about these verbs compared to other ones. Okay? There's only a handful of them. Okay? There are 6 modal verbs, so you'll learn all 6 of those. But there's also a 7th one, which is, so instead of being able to say to like, you will say would like. So it's a version of one of the original 6. Okay. They are usually used with another verb. Zeke, you should be writing. Okay. So you can use some of them by themselves. Okay. For example, to want is one of the modal verbs. So you could say, I want ice cream. And that's a legitimate sentence. Okay? But there are also many of the instances where you'll use another verb with it, like I want to eat ice cream. So then to eat would be the other verb that you use with it. So many of these will be used with another verb in the sentence. Okay? The other thing that is special about this one is that ich and sie conjugate the same. So that is different. Okay, so the big thing on it is that once you know what ich is, you also automatically know what sie is. Okay. So the sie is not going to have that traditional T ending that you have gotten used to. Okay. Once you got that done, we're going to flip right into verbs. So you're going to get all of the modals. Okay. We're also doing the future tense verb today. That's why you needed 8 verb T's. So, okay. All right. So, first modal verb is müssen. Everybody try that. Müssen.
Müssen.
Okay. Means must, which looks a lot like it. Okay. In English, especially American English, we frequently say have to. So you wouldn't say like haben and zu or something. So if you have to do something, you must do something, okay, then you would use this. Okay. So the right side is completely normal. So müssen, müsst, and müssen. And the left side of most of the modals are a little bit goofy. Okay. So there's no umlauts on the left side, and that one is pronounced moose, like the animal. Okay. Everybody try that one. Moose.
Muss.
Okay. So we already know ich and RCS, so RCS man, are the same. So we can copy that down right away. And for do, the normal ending would apply, except for you end with an S, so you're not going to add another one. So you're just going to put the T, go right to the T. So there's your verb. So muss, musst, muss, müssen, müsst, müssen. Okay. The S set is special depending on which vowel sound it follows. So the left side should have the S set and the right side should just have the 2 S's. It's kind of goofy, but it is what it is. Okay. Next verb. Try that one. Wollen.
Wollen.
Wollen means to want. Right side for all of these is normal, so we're just going to fill those in because it's a little bit faster. So wir, what? Wollen. Ihr. Wollt. And Sie. Wollen, yeah. Alright, left side is a little bit goofy again. This one is a false cognate. So a false cognate is a word that looks the same as another word in another language. So this one looks like it means will, but it doesn't mean will. It's want. So you got to be careful on that one, okay? So try that one. Ich will. Okay. So er, sie, es, and man is automatically then will. Same thing. And your do ending, what do you add? ST. So you take the will and you add the ST. So how would you say that? Good. Okay. Next verb. Try that one. Dürfen. Means that you may do something. That you're allowed. Okay. Not that you're physically able, but you have permission to do so. So that's why when you ask to go use the bathroom, you don't start with kann. You're physically able to go use the restroom, okay? But you ask permission to. So much like in English, you might have an English teacher or a parent to somebody that always gets you to say, may I go to the bathroom, instead of can I. So in German, they're very particular about that. So it's not just me being picky, that is how you would ask it. Okay? So for those of you who have asked to use the restroom, or go get water, or go to the nurse or something like that before, what's the first word in your question? Darf. Good. Okay? So the left side is based on the word darf. Okay. So what's do going to become? Darfst. Good. Yeah, add the ST. What about er, sie, es, and man? Darf. Yep. Remember, it's the same as ich. Okay. And right side's normal. So wir. Not darfen, but dürfen. Yep, because it's based on the original verb. So left side takes the A. The right side keeps the original stem of the verb. So dürfen. Ihr. Not dürfst, but dürft. And then sie and sie. Dürfen. There you go. Okay, next one. How would you say that word? Sollen. Good. Yeah, everybody. Sollen. Okay. And it means should. Like supposed to. You should do something. Let's do the right side first. So wir, what? Wir what? Sollen. Ihr. Sollt. And sie. Sollen. Right side is pretty close to, or the left side is pretty close to normal. Okay, so there's not a weird vowel change or anything like that. All it is soll. Okay? Everybody try that. Ich soll. So what's do going to become? Sollst. And er, sie, es, and man? Soll. Okay, next one. Everybody try that one. Können. And this is the one that was in your assignment yesterday. Everybody remember what können means? Can. Good. So right side again is normal. Okay. Except for sein, the right side is always normal. Okay. So wir, what? Yeah, here, it's pronunciation. Ker.
I want to say Coleman, but it's
Does that help? Kernan? Okay. Yeah, so not Conan, or Brian, or whatever. Okay, so wir können. Ihr, what? Current. And sie? Können. Left side is goofy, but people usually remember this side better than they do the other side. So kann. Like Genghis Khan. Okay. So everybody try that. Ich kann. Okay. And it looks more like can, so it's easier to remember. Okay. What about du? Kannst. And er, sie, es, man? kann. So this, that's pronunciation of that one. Kann. All right, next one. Try that one. Mögen. This one means to like. So, mergen, maybe something like that, pronunciation-wise. Right side's normal, so wir mögen. Ihr mögt. And Sie and Sie? Mögen. Left side is really irregular. Try that one. Mag. Okay. What's du going to become? And er, sie, es, man? There you go. Okay, so those are the original 6 modal verbs. Okay. And we talked about how one of them, you've already got to like, now we're going to do would like, because it's a very common one to use. Okay. It's actually called the subjunctive, which is a hypothetical tense when you're talking about like, I would be this, or if I had money, I would be rich, you know, or whatever. Okay, so it's a tense that's not factual, but all you need to know is it includes the would. So instead of just liking it, you would like it. Does that make sense? Okay. So, okay. Try that one. Möchten. Okay. So would like.
I've already seen that word.
You have. Yep. Still not mastered, so we're going to keep going over it.
Oh, okay.
Now it's related more to the modals, so we're just going to re-include it at this point too. So, all right. All right. So right side's normal. So wir what? Möchten. Ihr. So you've got your base word. Heard a bunch of different answers. You lop off your en, and that's what you're left with. And you still need to add your ending to it, but you can't have the 2 t's in a row. So e, t. So try that one. Ihr möchtet. There you go. And Sie and Sie? Möchten. Okay. Left side, we've got ich. This one's going to look kind of normal. Möchte. What's du going to become? Not möchtet, but möchtest. Good. Everybody try that one. Du möchtest. Okay. So er, sie, es, man is the only one that looks a little goofy this time. Because it's still the same as ich. Because it's one of those modal verbs. Okay. So that one still stays möchte. So this is number 7. Because you've got the original 6 modals, and then möchten is a form of a modal. So that's the end of your modals. We have one more verb, and that was going to be the future tense verb. This should be your last verb T. So some of you stumbled across this when you were doing your weather videos. Okay. So werden means will or to become. So this is the verb you use for future tense. Okay. This is another one of those irregular ones where it's the Oklahoma okay thing. Okay. So it's ich going to be? Werde. Yep. Everybody try ich werde. Good. And then the right side, wir, what's that? Werden. For the ear form, just like a T, you can't have a T right after the D, so you're going to add the E. So werdet, good. Okay, now try that one. Ihr werdet. Okay. And Z? What's that going to be? Werden. Okay. Left side. Du doesn't even have the D in it at all. The D is gone. Okay, and it has a stem change. Okay, so we try that one. Du wirst. Good. And erstes Mann keeps the D, but no T ending. Okay, try that one. Wird. Okay. So, word order and how to use these. Okay. So word order for the modal verbs, so any of those 7, and the future tense, and they all work the same way. So if you're trying to write a sentence, just a regular sentence, okay, the basic structure just goes like this. So you have your main subject. Yeah, I'll write that out so it's a little bit more clear. Okay. What always goes second in your sentence? Verb. Okay. The second thing in your sentence is always the conjugated verb. In German can be confusing because you can have 3, 4 verbs in a sentence, but it's always the conjugated one that goes in the second spot, because you only conjugate one per action. Okay. So in this case, you're going to have your modal or future tense verb. And you're going to conjugate that. Then you have anything else that you need. So that could be a time, it could be a place. And then you have your other verb, if there is one. But that one you leave alone, you don't conjugate it at all. And that's called the infinitive. In German it's the infinitive, in English infinitive. Okay, so that is, when you look it up in a dictionary, that's the form of the verb. So at the top of your verb tees, where it says verb and underneath it says meaning, that very top one, that's the infinitive. So you're only conjugating one verb, and the other one you kick to the end. Connor?
So when there's 2 verbs in the sentence, is there always a modal or a future verb then?
In many cases there is. There are other instances where you'll have other tenses, like past tense. Sometimes you use 2 verbs.
But you would still conjugate the past tense then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, you'll always be conjugating a verb, but only one. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's do a couple practice ones real quick here. How would you say, I want to go home? What's your first word? Ich? Okay. Now find to want, not would like. They're very different, or very similar, but there is a difference. So I want to go home. Say again. Will. Good. So ich will nach. Good. Hause. Just going to finish the whole thing for us. Gehen. Sehr schön. Okay. So we have, let's do some highlighting. Got your main subject. Okay. Main subject. And then we will go, yeah, we'll keep it as. Will is your modal. I know it's hard to read, but the colors I think are helpful sometimes. Gehen is your other verb, and that may or may not be there. Okay. And then the nach Hause part, that's just the anything else.
Does not mean to go.
When you say nach Hause, it means to and then you're home. That was, you had that one, I think it was in chapter 4. Okay. Now the nice part about these kinds of sentences, if you wanted to change that to say, I should go home, you only have to change one word. What is that word? Going to change will to what? Mm-hmm. What if you were going to say, I can go home? Right verb, but now conjugate it. Kann. Yeah, ich kann go home. Ich kann go home. Wow. Ich kann nach Hause gehen. What about I may go home? Darf. Yeah, ich darf nach Hause gehen. So you just substitute that one verb, and that makes a big difference, but everything else in the sentence can stay the same. Okay? All right. Another word order thing. If you are going to do a question, okay? So you have two ways that you can do a question. What are the two ways that you can start a question? The verb, that's one of the ways. What's the other one? Question word or phrase. Good. Yeah. So we'll do it like this, because you could have question word or phrase. That may or may not be there. Either way, the rest of the sentence looks the same. Then you have your conjugated verb. So we'll put modal verb in there. And that's the thing that you're conjugating. What's going to go right after that? It's got to be next to your conjugated verb all the time. Main subject. Good. Okay. And then you have your anything else. And at the end, if you have it, other verb. And again, not conjugated. Just leave it in the infinitive. Okay. So if we were going to say, should you go home? What would your first word be? Should you go home? Sollst, good. And then? Du? Good, keep going. Nach Hause, yeah. And then? Gehen, good. Fragezeichen, sehr gut. Okay, so for your highlighting again. So we have our main subject. We did there. Red was our conjugated verb. And blue is our other verb. Okay. Does that make sense how that works? Okay. You could use the same thing for the future tense as well. So if you were going to ask somebody, will you go home? What's your first word going to be now? Ah, that was the one I told you to watch out for. Because remember, willst means want. Wirst. Good, yeah. So that same thing works then here. So if you just put wirst, and the rest is the same, then that's the future tense, and that's it. So it follows the same pattern. Okay? Right, vocabulary list. Here we go. Are you ready? Okay. Saw this word yesterday. Careful in pronunciation, but how would you say that? Lighter. Good. If you had flip-flopped the I and the E, and you said lieder, that means songs. So it's different. Okay, so everybody try that one. Lighter.
Lighter.
Okay, that means unfortunately. Try the next one. Treffen. And remember, anyone remember what that means from yesterday? To meet. Sehr gut. This does not mean for the first time. This is like you're meeting up with friends. Okay, so there is a different verb for to meet for the first time. Try that one. Noch ein. Okay, that means another, like another one. Okay, like noch eine Cola, like another Coke or another pop, whatever. That E will be on there sometimes. Sometimes it'll be an N ending, an ES, all sorts of different endings. Okay, but the base word is the same. So everybody try that one. Under. Okay, means other. This might be one to use in your skits. Try that. Etwas zu trinken. Something to drink. If you're going to change that to be something to eat, what would that sound like?
Zu essen.
Good. Etwas zu essen. Good. Try that one. Mahlzeit. Okay. Literally means mealtime. And we talked about, I think you actually had the notes with the sub, saying the phrase guten Appetit when someone's about to start eating. Very, very common. We don't do anything like that in America, okay? But most other cultures have something along that lines. So in some regions of Germany, Austria, whatever, they might also just say Mahlzeit, which sounds kind of goofy because then you're saying mealtime to somebody. So, yeah. But it is one of the other ways that they say it. Okay. Love this word. Simply because it's long. You won't need to be able to write that on your own, but you should recognize it. Okay? Breaking it down. Lebens. Mittel. Geschäft. Lebensmittelgeschäft. Good. Geschäft is a word for store. So that's a really good one to know, just in general. Lebensmittel literally means means of living. So you need food in order to survive.
So like a Target.
It just food kind of stuff. Grocery store. Mm-hmm. Our grocery stores are gigantic compared to theirs. If you go to Aldi at any point, that's a German store. So that's more a traditional German style store. They have some that are bigger, But the concept of having a full-size grocery store and a super Target, and then you have all the other stuff, like you can buy furniture in the same place that you buy your groceries, is just mind-boggling to them. They still do very, very specific stores for very, very specific things. So you might go to one of the larger grocery stores and have like maybe 3 options for the same thing, and that's considered a large selection. You know, so if you go to the jelly section, for example, in Cub, you know, it takes up a large portion of shelf space, right? In Germany, very different experience, right? But the grocery stores are also a little bit more unique in how they operate. So, for example, you walk in, you get your little grocery cart thing right away that you've put your euro. Here would be the quarter. Right? You put your euro in, you unchain it from the one that it was connected to, and you go into your store. The wheels all fully move around, if that makes sense. So they're kind of goofy to steer, but you can literally go just directly sideways. You don't have to go forward in order to turn anything. Say again? Yeah. Yep. So you go in, and when you go to the produce section, for example, how they do the produce is a little bit different as well. And this caught me off guard the first time I went grocery shopping. You go in, and in America, you can weigh your stuff, but most people don't. And then there's nothing beyond that. Like, you weigh it just for your own, okay, this is how much it's going to roughly cost, right? In Germany, you put it on a scale. You know, like, how many of you done a self-checkout at a grocery store here, like Cub or something? Have anybody gotten produce, like apples or peppers or something like that? And you have to punch in the number? Same concept, except you do it in the produce section, and then it prints off a little sticker, and you slap that sticker on your produce, and then it's already done when they get up there, and then they just scan it. They don't have to stop and weigh it and put in the code and la la la. So it speeds it up at checkout, which is kind of nice. So then you go and you do your shopping, and then you go to checkout. And like the Aldi here, you bring your cart up. They usually already have another cart from the previous person sitting at the end of the register, and they go fast. And they are just zip, 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 and they put it right in the next cart that's already empty and waiting there for you. They don't bag it, nor do you bag it while you're standing there. And then you check out, and you move on, and they have like a little bagging station. So if you want to purchase a bag to bring your stuff home in, I'm not talking a reusable bag necessarily, but like a plastic one, then you pay for that. So you need to ask them for it, and then they scan it, so to speak, and then you get charged the 10 cents or whatever it is, and then you have that bag. So most of the time, they bring their own stuff from home, so their own bags. So very different than how we work here. Yep. Okay, next one. Try that one. Supermarkt. I think that's pretty obvious. Yes, supermarket. So those are usually the little bit bigger ones. That might have a few extra things.
Didn't we learn something like this? Yeah. No.
Next one is one of my favorites. Try that one. Bäckerei. What is it? Bakery. Yummy. Okay, try the next one. Metzgerei. That is a butcher shop. So, yeah.
My bad.
Did you say a meat store?
I said meat store.
Well, that's essentially what it is, yep. They still have quite a few of those. So if you've been to like a Von Hansen's or something like that, along that line. Except a much larger selection, and they probably aren't going to sell chips on the counter and stuff too.
Probably better.
Von Hansen, oh yeah. Von Hansen's is if you're grilling out, you can just go there and get everything you need to grill out. They'll sell you the potato salad and all that jazz too. But a butcher shop in Germany is meat. It's glorious.
They sell good bread too.
Well, the bakeries do. Or are you talking about Von Hansen's?
I'm talking about
Oh, okay. Yeah.
the backer.
Bäckerei.
I hear that word reminds me of like gambling. Backer. Bagging.
Gunner's talking about gambling. recorded for all to hear.
Oh shoot, I forgot about that.
Hey, at least you didn't swear when you said it. That's good. Okay, try that one. Obst
Obst
und Gemüse
und Gemüse.
Laden.
Laden.
Put it together. Obst und Gemüseladen.
Obst und Gemüseladen.
You remember? It's exactly as you see. So it's Obst hyphen und, and then Gemüseladen is one word. So it's Obstladen and Gemüseladen. But usually they're joint, so they've kind of a hyphenated extension of a word. If that makes any sense. Okay, so Obst und Gemüseladen. What does Obst mean? Fruit. Gemüse? Vegetables. So it's a fruit and vegetable store. Usually ends up being a stand, but Laden is another word for a store.
Oh, they really are specific.
Yep.
I think you
Well, especially during the summer, I mean, they have farmers markets all the time.
I love them.
In some places, it's, twice a week. In other cities, like in Freiburg, there's a cathedral in the middle of the town, or like it's a church, but whatever. Big church, and around the outside of it, every single day during the summer, they have stands that you can buy fresh fruits and vegetables, and even like homemade wooden toys and stuff. I mean, it's kind of odd, but fruits and vegetable stores. During the summer when we go, we never buy fruit and vegetable in the store, except for bananas because they aren't grown locally. So, yeah. Okay, we're going to do a couple random sentences, and then we are... Okay. Okay, let me try that. Was für Eis möchtest du?
Was für Eis möchtest du?
What do you think that means? What kind of ice cream? Very close.
Do you eat?
Would you like? Yep, you need to know the difference between wollen, mögen, and möchten. So, good. So what kind of ice cream would you like? And you could put in something else instead of the ice. That's why I underlined it. How would you say I would like? Ich möchte. Good. So ich möchte, and if we're going to say chocolate ice cream, we would say
Chocolate. Wait, no.
choco ice.
I thought of Spanish there for a second.
Bate, chocolate. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so you could say ich möchte Schokoeis, and you could be done. Okay? But why not go ahead and add something to that Schokoeis?
Chocolate chips.
They don't have chocolate chips, remember?
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, try that. Ich möchte Schokoeis mit Schlagsahne. Well, okay, let's just start with the Schlagsahne. Schlagsahne.
Schlagsahne.
Mit Schlagsahne.
Mit Schlagsahne.
Schokoeis mit Schlagsahne.
Schokoeis mit Schlagsahne.
Ich möchte Schokoeis mit Schlagsahne.
Ich möchte Schokoeis mit Schlagsahne.
Close enough. Schlagsahne literally means hitting cream. It's whipped cream.
Why is it hitting? Is it?
It's whipped. It's whipped cream.
Okay.
Is what an N or an R.
Hitting cream. Oh, none.
You asked me a question and then you... Okay.
Oh, he was asking me.
Okay. By the way, sprinkles and all that jazz, it's a very American thing. So, good luck finding sprinkles.
I'm about to bring my own.
Okay.
Do they? No, they don't. I was gonna say, do they have
Yep.
a twist? Like the chocolate and milk together? That's the best.
No, because that's not even.
Do they have like,
What is
It's
it?
gelato, remember?
Oh yeah.
What is it?
Say again?
do they have like chocolate syrup and caramel syrup and that sort of thing?
They do, but it doesn't taste quite as good on gelato. I gotta be honest with you. So gelato has a very different texture and taste to it, and it's far superior. Humble opinion. So try the gelato. Did you have gelato when you were over there?
I don't know, like, it might have been an ice cream shop, but I wasn't really sure. 'Cause it had
that's
like
too
a lot
bad.
of the same texture. It was very good, but I'm pretty sure
But it had the
was an
same
ice cream
texture as
shop.
ice cream. Yeah, I mean, gelato is very. It's not nearly as hard for starters. That's usually a pretty quick indicator.
So it's more fluffy.
It's not fluffy, but it's easier to scoop and it's just smoother. It's almost like it's meltier, but it's not melted.
Yeah, I've had gelato before with like Chicago hot dogs, like at those stands.
Oh, okay.
I was watching a movie based in Germany, and you know how you said that that there's no milk in Germany really? Like
Yeah.
you don't order that? She ordered a glass of milk, and they gave her one.
What movie is this?
I can't say it.
Oh, I know.
So yeah, nope, that was German occupied France.
Not
Okay.
so German occupied France. I was like, wait. So German is France. Wait, what?
No, the Nazis
Now I get it.
occupied.
Now I
Commentary brought to you by Zeke, forever recorded. Okay, here we go. You could skip the einen word, or you could use it. And you could skip the last word, or you could use it. It depends on how you're phrasing things. Okay, so let's just try. Er möchte Apfelsaft. Let's try that again. Er möchte Apfelsaft.
möchte Apfelsaft.
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 Okay, what does that mean? Er möchte Apfelsaft. Just those three.
Oh, he would like apple juice.
He would like apple juice. Apfelmus is applesauce. Okay. What if you said er möchte einen Apfelsaft? What does that mean?
He would like a.
He would like an apple juice. What about er möchte Apfelsaft trinken?
He
would like an apple juice to drink.
He would like to drink apple juice.
Oh,
Okay. What about er möchte einen Apfelsaft trinken? The full thing.
he would like a.
He would like to drink an apple juice. So the to drink in English goes earlier in the sentence. Does that make sense? So,
pouring down the sink.
okay. Right.
Why not?
Okay, how would you say she likes to eat pineapple? Z? Likes to. So not wants to or would like to, but likes to. Say again? Mag. Good. So sie mag.
Essen.
Missing
Wait.
a word. She likes to eat.
Oh,
Pineapple.
Why would I don't know pineapple is crab?
Das ist nicht Crab, sondern Mist.
Oh, yes.
Starts with an A.
Something.
Wait.
Ananas. Everybody, ananas.
Ananas.
It's just a fun word to say anyway, right? So, and then at the end you put essen. Sehr gut. Okay, everybody try that. Sie mag Ananas essen.
Sie mag Ananas essen.
Good. So she likes to eat pineapple. Das stimmt. Okay, last sentence. Wir möchten lieber, which means that you prefer something. How would you say the last one? Vanilla ice.
Ice.
Ice, ice, baby. Zu kalt, zu kalt. Yep. That's recorded. Okay. So
You're forgetting.
we would prefer
Vanilla ice cream.
vanilla ice cream.